It's recording.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. I have introductions. Only a few people on that are not on the committee. I see Bill Hiltz is joining us. I see Amy on the call as well. Anybody else participating that's not normal people to be on this call? I don't think so. So we'll move on. Approval of the minutes of January 2021. Could I get a motion to approve those minutes by Legislator Collins and second by Legislator Robbins? Under question? All in favor?
Aye.
Up and aye.
Aye.
Okay, we've got motion carried, it appears. Moving on to action now, ED 00621. That's 4.0 on your agenda. Authorization to submit a grant application to the New York State Office of Community Renewal for block grant funding for Brent Industries LLC. If we can get a motion by Legislator Meyer, second by Legislator Godfrey.
Mhm.
And Ms. Fizek is here to discuss this topic. Would you take it away, Ms. Fizek?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Resolution ED 00621, actually the first three resolutions, 4.0, 5, and 6, are all the same in the sense that it's just asking for authorization to apply to the New York State Office of Community Renewal for block grant funding for Brent Industries, the Locks and Erie Canal Cruises, and Ultimate Physique, Inc.
Okay. And this grant is obviously no guarantee, so we're just up for it. And what happens if they do get it? Just everybody.
So the process requires us to, the application process requires us to hold a public hearing. The committee probably recalls last month, you authorized us to have the public hearing. Actually, it will be coming up. And then also you need to authorize us to apply. And we haven't, we have a contract with Sickerman and Associates. So the county has an agreement with the NCIDA, and the NCIDA has a contract with Sickerman and Associates to sit down with the company and really kind of go into their financials and figure out what the application or how much we're going to be asking for. It's going to be based on investment and job creation. We so far have just, I would say, like preliminarily approved them, or we think it's going to be an approved application. So at this time, I can't really get into, how much the grant would be for, or if they would actually be approved, because we don't want to expend the staff time or the cost to the consultant to really do all that legwork until we receive authorization from the committee to apply.
Okay. Well, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Could we do a roll? I believe, do we need to do a roll call for this, Kathy?
We kind of, you'd like.
Okay. I would like to do a roll call vote. Would we be able to move items 5.0 and 6.0 as well, since they're the same type of things? I'll take a motion from Legislator Robbins and a second from Legislator Myers. All three, is that fine with everybody?
Good.
Okay, so we got a motion for those two and all three of them at once, and then we'll do a roll call vote on the block for 4.0, 6.0.
Legislator Andrews.
Aye.
Legislator Collins.
Yes.
Legislator Bratt. Legislator Godfrey.
Yes.
Legislator Myers.
Yes.
Legislator Grozio.
Yes.
Legislator Robbins.
Do a thumbs up, Chris. Just we didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, we got all three of those passed, and we move on to 7.0 on your agenda.
Yeah.
Resolution. Thank you.
Yes.
E009-21, fixing date and notice for the public hearing of consolidated funding application, micro enterprise grant funds. I got a motion from Legislator Grozio and a second from Legislator Godfrey.
Yes.
Okay, now it's on the floor. Ms. Kleisig, would you spin on that?
Thank you, Mr.
7 point.
Chairman. We're asking the committee this evening to authorize us to move forward with a public hearing so we can apply to replenish our microenterprise grant fund. Our application will be for $300,000. That's the maximum amount that you can apply for.
Now, is this the same grant funding that would go to like a Lumber City development, or is this something we disperse to them?
No, well, it is the same. So previously, the cities have always had their own micro funds. The cities of North Tonawanda and Lockport. Niagara Falls has their own funding, a little bit different because they're an entitlement community. So what we did at the Center for Economic Development was decide to create a micro enterprise grant fund for the towns and villages throughout the county. So that way, businesses that were looking to start up or that needed assistance in the towns and villages weren't at a distinct disadvantage as to those that are located in the cities that had access to these grant funds.
Okay. So we got a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion carried. Next one on the agenda, we've got Resolution ED 001-21, budget modification, reappropriate grant funds, hazardous waste assessment. Could I get a motion by Legislator Collins? Second by Legislator Grosio. And now it's under question. If you could have Mrs. Fisk talk about that topic.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is our annual budget modification where we take the grant funds that either are unexpended from the previous year, or if we spend too much money of our grant funds, we have new projects come on board. This is our resolution to make that even. So for this specific one, the hazardous waste, we had additional projects we took on in 2020 that used up more money than we expected. And so this will decrease the 2021 budget, and it will accurately reflect the amount of grant money we have left to spend. It's all 100% federally funded with no local match.
Okay. Very good. There's no local match. That's always music to our ears. Anybody have any other questions for this? Okay. We got a motion and second. One here is about a budget modification. We do a roll call just for the sake of spending money.
Sure. Legislator Andrus.
Aye.
Legislator Collins.
Yes, ma'am.
Legislator Brett. Legislator Godfrey.
Yes.
Legislator Myers.
Yes.
Rosio.
Yes.
Legislator Robbins.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carried. We have now a second budget modification. ED 011-21 budget modification to reappropriate grant funds in the EPA Brownfield Petro. This will be here to talk about it again. I got a motion by Legislator Robbins, second by Legislator Collins, and will we get Amy to talk about this one?
Sure. This is the same one as the previous one. It's just that this is for our petroleum grant funds. And this one, one of our projects actually came in under budget. So we had $2,000 that we're carrying over into the 2021 budget. And again, this is the same thing where there's no county match and it's 100% reimbursable by EPA.
Okay, thank you. And motion and second, and a roll call, please.
Sure, Dougie.
Legislator Andrus.
Aye.
Legislator Collins.
Yes.
Legislator Brett. Legislator Godfrey.
Yes.
Legislator Myers.
Yes.
Legislator Grosio.
Yes.
Legislator Robbins.
Yeah.
Yeah, motion carried. Next one, ED 012-21, authorization to submit a grant application to the New York State Office of Community Renewal for block funding to replenish the micro enterprise grant fund. And we've got Mrs. Kleizek here to talk about that one. A motion by legislator, second by legislator Collins. And could we have Kleizek talk about that one?
Thank you. As I spoke about in item number 7, for the public hearing, this is just for the committee to authorize the Center for Economic Development to move forward with submitting the application to the New York State Office of Community Renewal for the Microenterprise Grant Fund.
Okay, thank you. And on submitting that grant, could we get a roll call vote on this one as well?
Legislator Andres,
Aye.
Legislator Collins,
Yes.
Legislator Brett, Legislator Godfrey,
Yes.
Legislator Myers,
Yes.
Legislator Grozio,
Yes.
Legislator Robbins.
Okay, very good. That moves us through our agenda items. We move on to 11.0, commercial tax delinquency update from Mr. Updegrove. Is there any updates today?
No, we're still waiting on the courts. Do we have is our attorney on the line right now?
Yes, he is. Mr. Burgesser, is it, you want to address that, Rick?
Well, actually, I know John Ottaviano has been heading that up. So I should probably get an update from him. It's been a couple of weeks. So no, there isn't anything new other than we're waiting on some of the TIOs.
Okay, thank you. And then that, of course, up with the idea with the courts sort of not,
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Norlick,
but we should still have an update. I think we're at that point where everything should be starting to move. So at the next meeting, I'll have something more comprehensive.
Norlick,
Oh, and Legislator Myers, I owe you a phone call tomorrow morning. I apologize for not calling you today.
that's on the record, Irene, so just so you can hold. Okay. Anything from Norlick to add to that?
No.
0.0 sport fishing promotion program consulting services agreement. Mr. Campbell, would you talk about that one?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bill Hiltz is joining us on the line today. Maybe Bill will want to share some thoughts, after I go through what this agreement's all about. Bill has served the county and the region very, very well. He'll tell you for how many years. A lot of hard work. He's put Niagara County on the map as one of the best freshwater fisheries in the entire world. And he's also helped create a $30.2 million annual industry here in Niagara County. He's going to be retiring soon. In fact, his last day on the job will be Friday, February 26th.
Boo.
Yeah, Boo is right. This is kind of a bittersweet announcement. Yeah, who wants to vote to say no to his retirement? He's going to be replaced by Frank Campbell, who's a full-time charter fisher captain and a guide, nearly 30 years of experience on the waters of Lake Ontario and the Niagara River. He's been a member of the Fisheries Advisory Board of the county for the past 21 years, serving as chairman of that board from 2005 to 2016. And Frank was also a member of the Destination Niagara USA Board, and he was chairman of that board from 2010 to 2012. Now, as we started preparing for Bill's retirement and bringing on his replacement, we realized that we didn't want to lose all of Bill's institutional knowledge of Niagara County sport fishing assets, the local and regional fishing derbies, national and worldwide outdoor media. So as we were preparing the 2021 sport fishing promotion budget, we included funding to help us with a smooth transition from Bill to our new program coordinator. And working with Mr. Burgasser, and thanks, Tom, for all of your input and help on this, we drafted an agreement for sport fishing program consulting services. Bill is going to take on that role. And so he's going to be on board in 2021 and the officer in the field to ensure a smooth transition of the day-to-day operations of a uniquely skilled specific program. Bill, thank you for that. this agreement was drafted and is ready to be signed. And again, Mr. Campbell will be starting his new role on March the 1st. Bill, is there anything you would like to say as you say so long to the county in your role as program coordinator?
No,
No?
yes, hopefully you can hear me okay. I seem to be like, not in sync with the picture that I'm looking at anyway. But from the standpoint of the 35 years that I've been on the job, first and foremost, the Niagara County Legislature has been a huge supporter of the program. They were the ones that really took the chance to create this unique program. And it's a program that's not only been recognized around our state, but around the Northeast, around the country, and around the world for some of the groups that we've brought in internationally. We've hosted the Outdoor Writers Association of America, the Association of Great Lakes Outdoor Writers, and the New York Outdoor Writers throughout the years. And we brought in media from all over the world, Sweden, Germany, England, and they've all been impressed with the program that we have here, but more importantly, with the resources that we have. And that was the initial vision back in 1986, when the Fisheries Board and the late Senator John Daly decided that we have the infrastructure, we have the fish, now we need to promote it. So that was the beginning of a long run. Frank Campbell is a fitting replacement for the job. He's very knowledgeable, and I think the transition will be smooth. Also like to give Mike DeSale a pat on the back too, because for almost 3 decades of those years, I've worked right alongside him, and he's been a great partner in helping us promote our natural resources back when he first was the Niagara County Tourism Director, and then now as the Commissioner for Economic Development. Predecessor, the late Sam Ferraro, was also a huge supporter of the program. And through the years, it's really made my job easy having the support of the Niagara County Legislature. And I just want to thank you for allowing me to do what I've done the last 35 years.
Great job, Bill.
Thank you. Thank you.
But again, you're not going to be too far from us in 2021, so we're happy to have you on in that role of consulting services.
I'm only a phone call away.
Well, if you're ever going fishing before, sometimes you catch one, you release them, sometimes you keep them. I almost kind of think we should keep them. I really do.
Well, you put those nice salmon in a baggie and you get them off to Rich, because I know Rich likes to grill them on his grill.
No, it's not about Bill. We should keep Bill. I understand.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, like I said, it's kind of bittersweet. It's Bill, you've done a great job. And we appreciate everything you've done for Niagara County, and we'll continue to do. I agree with you, Bill, or Will.
And as a legislator, I know that I can sort of speak for the bunch here, but we're very lucky in this county to have a lot of people that do the day-to-day stuff that make us look good. So we do appreciate all that you do, and there's a lot of people out there that are doing a great job in all facets of the county government, and we certainly take that very seriously. So thank you, Bill, for a great career, and maybe you'll have some time to actually go fishing once in a while with some of this.
I certainly plan on it.
Find out he just hates fishing, never going to do it again.
Take me with you, Bill.
Okay, so we now move on to economic development outreach to municipalities. And Mr. Casale, I know I put you on the spot with this one, but if you could.
That's okay. That's quite all right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. In fact, just to let you all know, last month, Rich reached out to me with an idea to put together an economic development outreach program for municipalities. Since that discussion, I've reached out to our staff. Staff gave me some great input, and we've developed a draft presentation that's been submitted to Chairman Andres. Staff continues to meet to finalize the presentation, which we hope to implement soon. We'd love to do it when it is safe to do it in person at these town and city council meetings. Rich, I'm going to turn it over to you in case you've got anything to add, something I might have forgotten. We're looking to implement this program, and the whole staff is excited about it.
No, certainly, and I can speak to this, like with the bill, we have great assets here in the county that we put a lot of effort and time into. We have great folks at, at all these different levels. But sometimes, just in this, having so much going on, we sometimes get lost in the shuffle as to what exactly we offer and to whom. Just like Andrea mentioned earlier, the micro enterprise grant. Well, there's something that, it's got to be, sort of, pitched to these towns and cities or towns and villages that are going to be eligible for this, that this is a program you can take, and offer to your businesses and use us as a resource. But as we sort of, come out of this COVID nightmare here and rebuild this economy, which was doing, outstanding, is, sort of compared to our, modern standards here, we've been doing great, except for this kind of hit us over the head with the COVID crisis. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we use some of these resources and put them out there in these different towns and cities around the county to do a real kind of presentation of what we do and what we offer and what, you can expect from us and how we can help. And I know, everybody's been kind of doing it individually. I know Amy Fisk, is always there to help with the brownfields, and we've got people on the on all these different areas. But to actually put sort of a presentation together, I don't think has been done. Sort of a full-fledged what the economic, development team can do for you type of presentation. I don't know if it's been done in, in time I've been a legislator that, we can say the full kind of range and what you could expect, so we can get a better working relationship, top to bottom, from our legislators all the way down to our towns and villages, and certainly we always have a great relationship with the state officials around here. Have been fantastic. Assemblyman Morinello and Norris and our board, of course, but now to sort of, that top to bottom, kind of what package we can offer would be, I think, excellent to sort of help these communities see a light at the end of the tunnel, and that there's real hope, and that we can, kind of come back even when we went into this mess. So that's where I sort of envision it going. I know you guys, would, certainly have supported all these programs. It's now time to kind of put the show on the road and tell these folks what exactly we're doing, and sort of maybe the pro or whatever sort of inspired some of this. We did this with the city of Niagara Falls when the new administration came in, and we sat down and had a real kind of, frank conversation about what we can do and what they've been doing and how we can help. And I think it's bore some fruit. Obviously with the coronavirus, it's been, probably a little stymied, but we're looking to, kind of do something like that and maybe tailor it to that town and village. That would be, something that they might be interested in. Certain places are going to have different needs. So that's the vision. And I know the staff will do, a phenomenal job as we sort of flesh this out and take the show on the road.
So you can be expecting to receive a presentation draft soon, Rich.
Great.
As we move forward with this program.
Part of my included, getting the legislators involved, who have supported these programs, and have them kind of make introductions in these cities and towns. So, as we go to different places, I hope the legislators on this call at least will join me in, bringing this to your communities and sort of talking about what we can, kind of do to assist and to be, helpful as these cities come out of this, because we do want to see a strong comeback. So I see, a lot of people nodding their head, and hopefully that means you're volunteering. So we'll be looking forward to it. Okay, very good, Chairman Casale, or Commissioner Casale. Next is
promoted me, huh?
Commissioner Casale, business assistance update. Could you give us a?
Yeah, and thank you for the opportunity to be able to do this. I'll try to be brief. and as Rich, you said, the COVID-19 pandemic has really changed the way that we do business, big time, in our office. And a big thank you goes to Bill Flynn in the IT department, because he supplied my staff with all the technology that we need to reach out to businesses, the business community virtually. The department has a number of project teams, and each team has a team leader. And we work closely with the Niagara County IDA and the Economic Development Alliance Group as we reach out to our businesses, especially with a very aggressive business growth and retention program. With the onset of the pandemic, we've increased the number of companies that we're reaching out to. Last year, we contacted 100 companies. This year, we're on target to reach out to 150 companies, trying to meet with as many as those that want to meet in person and or virtually. We've been doing that. It's been working well. And today's news regarding the expansions at Tech in Lockport and Tech Motive in Niagara Falls really kind of underscores the importance of this business growth and retention program. That retention team, I want to say, includes not only myself, but it includes my Deputy Commissioner, Andrea Kleisik, Kathy Sinor, and Susan Langdon at the Niagara County Industrial Development Agency. Many of you know that for years we've also worked with our Economic Development Alliance partners to conduct free business workshops throughout the county, meeting with people who are either looking to start a business or expand their existing business. In 2020, we did 2 virtual workshops because we quite simply had to, but we couldn't meet in person. And we had over 80 participants in those 2 virtual workshops, far exceeding the participation of the in-person workshops from 2019. Kathy Sinor, working with Susan Langdon and myself, leads this team. In 2021, we're going to be conducting 6 virtual workshops, 3 of which are going to be content specific. And the first workshop is scheduled for Thursday, February 25th, and it's going to focus on workforce development and training. You're going to be getting more information on those, and you'll be able to get information. I believe, Kathy, they'll be able to share on their own social media platforms. Am I correct in that?
Yes, so yesterday a constant contact email went out that you all should have gotten, which had the registration link. We also put it on our Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn pages. And I know today that the Niagara County Facebook page also shared the story and the link. So it is out there. And we would appreciate if you wanted to share it on any of your platforms just to help us get the word out.
Thanks, Kathy. And speaking of Kathy Sinor, she leads the William Main Business Program Enhancement Team, which includes Jackie Minicucci and myself as well. And once again, the business organizations have been alerted to the fact that they'll be eligible to participate in that program again this year. You all are very familiar with that program. It's a matching grant program for business organizations for brick and mortar improvements in their business districts, as well as creating promotional materials. The mandatory orientation session this year is going to be a virtual event. It's scheduled for Friday, March the 5th. It's always been the first Friday in March at 9 a.m. And again, that's going to be a virtual event. Finally, we're going to be conducting our second agribusiness outreach forum with 2 events coming up in March, March 23rd and March 25th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. both days. The event was canceled last year due to COVID. But the first event in 2019, you may recall, drew more than 100 participants, including Max Russell from Russell Farms. And he sent me an email recently, and I just wanted to share a couple of comments with you because this underscores how important this new program is. First, he wanted to thank us for helping him with his NYPA application for recharge. He was an Empower Niagara customer. Tom Bergasso, you'll remember this. He's one of our first Empower customers. And we were able to help him transition from Empower Niagara to Recharge New York through the New York Power Authority. He thanked us for the efforts of putting together the Agribusiness Forum back in April of 2019. That's where he first heard about Recharge New York. He says and I'm reading his email, the Agribusiness Forum also introduced me to National Grid's agribusiness incentive programs for implementing energy efficiency measures. Since the forum, he's worked with National Grid on a number of different energy efficiency projects for both new buildings that they've constructed out there in Newfane, as well as retrofit buildings. These incentive payments have added up to a decent amount of money. The National Grid folks have also shown a desire to continue helping. the future energy efficiency programs. And he ends that email with saying the agribusiness forum was an excellent starting point for learning about the various utility programs. We're going to be doing that again. It's going to be a virtual event again over those 2 days in March. And the agribusiness team includes not only myself, but Amy Fisk is a big part of that team, Kathy Sinor, and we also include team partners. And they include Corey Schuler of the Chamber, Justin Rogers, Cornell Cooperative Extension, Amanda Henning from Cooperative Extension, John King from the Niagara County Farm Bureau, and Lynn Oswald from the Small Business Development Center. So there's a lot of work being done by a great staff and for business outreach in this community. We'll continue to do it all year long. And thanks, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity to present.
Thank you very much. And now, do we have anything else for the good of the order from any of the legislators?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, David.
What's that? Do you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Just to go back to item 14 with the outreach, and I know, Mike, you've been involved with this group that Art Lawson, the mayor of Wilson, has brought together. We've got an MOU in a number of the towns and villages across our county to work together for economic development, bring tourism in. It started with a bike trail that he wants to get connected from Lewiston down into Wilson and on to our harbor in Olcott. But that MOU is being signed by a number of all the towns and villages. And I know, Mike, you've been part of that. I just raised this because it is part of your outreach.
Right. And Legislator Godfrey, I saw that MOU for the first time today, and I sent it off to County Manager Updegrove and to Rich because I got a feeling that they're going to ask us to participate in that. And we've been working, as you know, Dave, with Greg Stevens at the Greenway Commission for a number of years to talk about the connectivity of the Lower River. Legislator Myers and Chairman Wittich are aware of that. Not only are we talking about connectivity to from the village of Lewiston up to the town of Porter, Youngstown, across to 4 Mile Creek, and then eventually to Wilson. And there are other branches as well that we've been talking and giving guidance to the Greenway Commission on. And we've met on a number of occasions. And I recall back last year, early in 2020, they presented to the ad hoc committee.
Right.
And we told Greg that it was important that he continued to work with those local municipalities, let them know what the plans are, get their buy-in to it, and continue to move along. And I think they've done a great job doing that. So again, I sent that MOU out to Chairman Andres and to County Manager Updegrove. We may want to, we may be asked to participate in that MOU.
Yeah, I brought, he gave me a call the other day and asked if the county would not, quote, sign on to his effort. And I really directed him to you, Mike, and to Randy Brett, and majority leader, to take a look at that. I wasn't going to commit on behalf of the legislature, to do a resolution. I would support that if we feel it's appropriate. So I just bring that as awareness that's what he was asking for, is for us to sign on. No commitment to any funds, but just help the grant process to say that the county is supporting it.
And that's why we sent that along to the county manager and Chairman Andres too. The main thing was in this whole effort was that they needed to talk to the different communities to make sure that they were on board with everything that they're trying to do.
Good.
Because I know the county legislature would not want to support anything that the municipalities weren't supporting. So, I think they're moving along well with it, and we can have further discussions on this as we go forward.
Good.
Just to comment on the bike trail, I did speak to Lisa Vitello just a little bit prior to our meeting here, and I guess there was a little miscommunication there with that MOU. They really don't need us to sign on to that MOU. They have all the municipalities. They have Barker, they have Wilson, Youngstown, Lewiston, all signed on to the MOU. They're just looking for our support, basically, with a resolution at this point.
Resolution in support of what they're doing.
Yes, and that's all they're looking for at this point, just saying that we do support what they're doing.
Good.
We would be more than happy to draft one and send it off to you guys for approval if you would like for the next meeting.
I'd support that.
Yes, I'm on board with that too, Dave, and the rest of the legislators that want to hop on that resolution, if so be it.
Good. Couple other quick things. I don't know, Becky or Will, if you made the meeting this morning at the hospital.
Yes, I did. I was there.
Okay, you want to give a quick update that they announced the location of the new hospital?
Sure, if you want me to. It's pretty comprehensive. It's actually kind of interesting because I don't know that much about hospitals, but this is going to be a new modern type hospital where they're going to have a trauma center, emergency room, but also they're going to have if you need a kidney guy, you need a whatever guy, they're going to rotate it out because in this area it doesn't really warrant like to have somebody there 5 days a week. So if you need to go for kidneys, it'll be on Tuesday. You need to go for cardiac, it'll be on Wednesdays, that kind of thing. And apparently it's not, can't really say anything yet because it hasn't been released to the press. But it's going to be when you go down Shimer Drive past Home Depot, they're going to extend that.
They've locked all that in, right? They have all
pretty
the
much
agreements
locked
in place.
Yeah.
Right.
Directly behind Home Depot.
Well, no, not behind. It's going to be in the Hall Apple Farm. And I actually,
Pretty much behind. Yeah.
Yeah, on the way home from my meeting, I actually drove past there. So you go down Rubin Road. It's going to be in that block, and they're hoping to get a cut in from the bypass because they're a hospital. So for the ambulance to come there or off of transit, and that's what they're looking to do. The only problem is they're having pretty kind of a tight schedule because they're still under bankruptcy. They still have a lot of things going on, and they need to be in there by I think January of 2023. So that was pretty much what I took away from the meeting. It looks like a pretty good thing. I think that the legislature needs to be behind it. The local governments need to be behind it. I don't really see any downside to it, what they're doing right now. So, Rick, you were there too. So if you want to add anything to it, please, by all means, add something.
No, I mean, I think.
Yeah, that's good. Everything is coming together. At the end of the 2-year period, the East Avenue facility, if it's not sold in the interim, will be turned over to Citizens Bank. They basically own the bricks and mortar. The urgent care center and the surgical center out in transit right now will remain in operation for this full 2 years. And then hopefully that new facility will be ready to go in that 2-year time frame. So that was good news this morning.
Well, from what I understand, the South Transit facility has actually been sold to Catholic Health Facility, and it's kind of you're just shuffling stuff back and forth. So they're going to take that over, and they're looking for viable buyers to sell to for the existing Eastern Niagara Hospital. That's what it sounds like to me. So
I know that when I talked to Rick, we continue to be interested in leasing some space in that East Avenue facility, knowing that it's going to be there and protected for the next 2 years. So that's another opportunity, I think, for both entities. Last thing I want to give a quick update is last week, Chairman Johnson, Wendell Engineering, our friend Adam Trabowski, who was writing the application for the funding for broadband. The USDA call we had last week was very positive. They continue to look at our 2-county opportunity. Out of the $7 billion in the budget, the federal budget, the USDA is going to receive about $1 billion. They'll be applying, and they say the window should open sometime in April, maybe early May. It's a 90-day window, and we would be applying for 10.1 million, and there's only a 5% match, which is better than the 10 where they started. The delay is because the first 2 rounds of funding had to be reviewed and see how successful they were. So hopefully that whole process will move along. Wendell is ready to go. Our vendor was on the call. He is ready to go. The design is done. We're just waiting for the funding. So keep everybody up on that because that, again, has everything to do with attracting businesses. The families that move in with the businesses that need that high-speed internet.
Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah,
yes.
I think the hospital said that they were in the process of preparing a release because they still had some loose ends to tie up. But I understand that obviously this is this is a meeting that we've got several legislators on the line, and it's open to the public. So I just wanted to remind you that I would look for that release from the hospital, because they did indicate that once they tied up those loose ends, that they would release that information, and that should be forthcoming.
Okay.
Anyway,
Questions?
as far as the 5% match, that's not needed at application time. It's when we are approved, which obviously is going to be later in the year, but that's FYI that we'll have that obligation. Not the full 500,000, because it's going to be split between Orleans and Niagara based on how many addresses are served between the two counties. So we'll have a portion of that.
Very good.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, we now have a motion to adjourn. Can I get Legislator Collins? Second by Legislator Robbins. Under question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a good night, all.
Motion carried.
Thank
Have
you.
a-
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.